Hi again. I just wanted to talk to you today about how our bodies are affected when we're under sort of stress or we feel like we're being attacked, like triggers, for instance. So, something could have happened in your life, um, either through childhood or adulthood, whatever it is, and your body goes into fight or flight mode. So basically chemicals, cortisol gets released. So if you feel like you're under attack, or say you're in a car, like road rage is a classic one, or I know you've had a row with someone, or anyway, all these different kinds of triggers for whatever, but it affects you. You feel it physically, like your tummy flips. You get that like, and all of a sudden your heart starts beating faster, and it's basically releasing these hormones and these chemicals to the brain. So your brain and your sensory, so your nervous system, are obviously interlinked. And sometimes the fight and flight is healthy. Like, for instance, if you're out about, like in the middle of, I don't know, the jungle, for instance, and you see a tiger and your fight and flight mode comes in, that's your body's natural response. It's to protect yourself. So especially like with anger and stuff, like that is our body's way of like protecting ourselves. So we see this tiger, and obviously we're petrified, like we see this tiger, and it creates all this stress in our bodies. And then what happens is, unless we notice them triggers, we could be walking along again and we see a giraffe. Now that giraffe's not a threat, but we think it's a tiger. This is what the trigger is. So what happens is the body goes into the same panic mode, but it's not a tiger, it's a giraffe. Do you see what I mean? I don't know if I'm explaining this, but basically it's like situations in life. We react and our body does exactly the same thing. It's actually in our nervous system. So it's really important, really, really important that when you're healing yourself, it's not just about healing your mind. It's about healing your body. It's about getting in tune with your whole body. So I strongly believe in, like, we have our spiritual being, we've got like, there's all aspects to us. So we're spiritual, there's the mental part, there's the emotional part, and there's the physical. We're all one. So, when people say, "Oh, I'm really tired today, my energy's low," that we are made up of energy. Like, that's it's hard for some people to understand, because energy is something that you can't necessarily see, but it's there. Energy is there because you wouldn't be able to switch the light on for a start. So energy is like an invisible force, but it's very powerful. And the same as love and the same as hate. It's all part of energy. So what I'm saying is, whenever you notice them triggers, when it's activated in your body. So for instance, I don't know, you're at work, fine example, and your boss says something to you and it kind of rubs you up the wrong, and the first thing you're getting angry, or you might even go into the mode of feeling scared. Like, do you see what I mean? So there's all these different reactions, but at the end of the day, you're an adult now. And it's about how you react to them situations. So when you notice yourself getting activated, take some deep breaths and actually think about how you're going to react. Are you going to let it affect you, for one? Because the only way we're going to learn is by monitoring ourselves and how we react to situations. Now, I'm not perfect. I'm sitting here telling you all this, and it's just reiterating to me. So whenever there's something come up, to be honest, something happened this morning on the phone, and I won't go into it. It's, it doesn't really matter. But again, I really was aware and I didn't react. I didn't respond. I just thought, what's the point? Sometimes when someone's in a bad mood, or, it's their problem, it's their crap. They just feel like they want a bit of a row. They don't even realise they're doing it sometimes, or they say things and they can be quite spiteful, or, for instance, just not very mindful or skillful with the way they say things. But the worst thing you can do is get in the ring with them, because ultimately you, what's the point? You're just trying to explain yourself. They're getting a reaction, and it's feeding, and then you're both ending up feeling like crap. Or sometimes, with some personalities, like I said, they might be in a bad mood and they don't even realise it, but they want to row because they want to get it out. But then you're the one who's on the other end of it feeling like crap. So do you see what I mean? So whenever you feel yourself in a situation, you are in control. You can walk away, or you can, like I said, you get in the ring with it. Like, and even after you get off the phone, you might still have that feeling of anger or whatever. For me personally, what I do now is I keep a journal. I've always kept journals anyway, but I will write down how I'm feeling, and I will rationalise it with myself on pen and paper, because I'll be like, there's no point in reacting. It's got nothing to do with me. And also, what other people think of you is none of your business at the end of the day. As long as you're coming from a place of integrity, and you're being true to yourself, and you're being kind, and you're just doing your best, whatever anyone else thinks, it's up to them. There's nothing you can do about it. Just keep being you. You know, and like I said, we all have our times when we react. I used to lose it. I did. And again, it's because when growing up, I felt like I wasn't heard, maybe, or I couldn't express myself clearly because I didn't have emotional intelligence. That's another thing. Like, emotional intelligence is key. That's what we should be teaching ourselves and our children, how to understand the different emotions, and when they arise, how to deal with them emotions. Because sometimes, especially children, like sometimes when them feelings come on, they just don't know what to do with it. It's overwhelming for them. I know it was for me, like looking back as a kid. And, you know, like as parents, they just go, snap out of it, or stop being naughty, or stop it. And then you feel like there's something wrong with you. And there's nothing wrong with you. You're feeling these feelings, and then you're told that you're naughty for feeling them, or, you know, it's not explained. It's not talked about, especially in our culture. I think, like, our culture is very much, we don't really talk about our feelings, and I'm not saying that's everyone, but, you know, like, it's very much, we're very much in our head and logical, and, you know, English and the stiff upper lip, and, you know, boys don't cry and all this, which is absolute crap. Like, we all have emotions and we all have feelings, like mental health and anxiety and depression and suicides and stuff. That stuff's going on because people aren't expressing. They're not getting to the root core of why they feel like they do. And that's something that needs to be addressed, and that comes with emotional intelligence. And instead of punishing people or saying what's wrong with you, it's like actually getting them to speak and open up, and getting through the layers to peel off, so that you can get to the core issue and heal it. Like, with healing, this is the thing, like, I'm not saying that medication for depression and anxiety isn't good. I'm not saying that at all. I think if it works and it helps, but ultimately it's like having a cut, and you can put a plaster on it and keep putting a plaster on it, or you open it up and you allow the wound to heal naturally. And it's a bit like, I mean, for me personally, for years, like, I probably self-medicated through alcohol or food and whatever to repress them feelings that I felt so strongly within, because I really did feel, you know, there was a deep-rooted fear, like I said, lack of self-worth, anxiety, depression. Like, there was lots, I'm not going to lie. But you kind of, you repress it because it's painful. You don't want to look at that stuff. Like, healing, you know, I call it joy pain now. So whenever I'm going through something and it's really testing, and I'm emotional and I'm getting it out and I'm crying or whatever, I call it joy pain, because I know that it's healing, and I know that afterwards it's going to be another layer that's shed and that I can understand. But in order to do that, you have to look at it. And again, this is a process, and it's individual to every single person. This, like I said, I'm just talking about me. And, you know, if you're willing to look at this stuff, but like I said, like, you know, it's not just medication from the doctors. We self-medicate every day with TV, alcohol, drugs, whatever it is that people do. Like I said, food. But, you know, how does it make you feel? Anyway, that's it for today. If there's any questions or anything anyone wants to discuss or talk, or even if I do a live talk one day and you can ask questions, because like there's so much, everything I'm saying we all know, we've all got that innate wisdom within us, we really do. It's just sometimes it's just awakening it. And like I said, and I'll keep saying, this video might not be for everyone, and it might not be what you believe. And that's cool. I'm not here to put any beliefs or throw anything down anyone's throat. Like, you know, all I'm doing is I'm here for people of like mind that maybe feel the same and want to talk about this stuff. So anyway, I hope you have a really good weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye for now. Bye.